Hi everyone, my name is Jennie Goloboy. Tonight I'll be reading from my book Obviously Aliens which was published by Queen of Swords Press. Here's the awesome cover, and it's the story of two people, Dana Elson here and Adam Shapiro, who are forced to work together when Dana inadvertently becomes the host of Adam's boyfriend on a road trip across the Southwest. It's a big, crazy book with road trips and aliens and all sorts of goofy stuff happening. I'll be reading you a short section from chapter 7. Midway through the 4-hour drive to Las Vegas, Dana was losing focus. There wasn't much outside the windows but the endless highway. It reminded her of Mom's well-worn copy of Press Elson Speaks. Mom had let Dana read it pretty much as soon as she could read, so Dana could know something about Dad. Her favorite parts were the early chapters, back when Dad had been a young, broke musician, driving around the Southwest with Eddie Harris, the bassist, and Bob Crispin, the drummer, in a rusted-out bread delivery truck, trying to get momentum behind their first single, "Okay Baby." Half the time the radio didn't work, Dad had told the interviewer. The other half, it was some preacher talking about the end of the world. I got to appreciate the way Bob and Eddie squabbled all the time. Kept me from falling asleep behind the wheel. He talked about meals and greasy spoons where the three of them shared one hamburger, and nights where they all pigged up under a blanket in the back of the bread truck for warmth. It all sounded so wonderful when Dad wrote about it, like he could sense the whole world opening up to him, and he was ready to meet it. But she'd always been dubious, especially as she grew up. Maybe it was all rosy sunrise in retrospect, but at the time, she bet it was hard and cold and hungry and a little scary. Now here she was on a grand adventure. But to be fair to herself, it wasn't her fault. She was a totally straight-laced individual, always had been. She was the kid who did her homework on a Friday night. This made her sort of a rarity in the Elson family. Press Elson had faith that everything would come out all right. Dana Elson did not, so Dana Elson planned in advance. This trip was just a vacation for her. Soon enough she'd figure out how to get Jay back in his own body, and Jay and Adam would go back to their lives, and she'd go back to hers. Dad would say she ought to enjoy herself while it lasted. Maybe she'd even get to see an alien on the way. That would be interesting. She looked over at Adam in the passenger seat, his head tilted against the window like he wanted to fall asleep but couldn't quite manage it. It was overly warm in the car, and for once he wasn't wearing a jacket. She would have expected someone like him to have some tattoos, but he didn't. "Talk to me," she said. "Keep my mind from wandering." "About what?" "I don't know. Tell me something about Mahler." He thought for a moment. "Did I tell you about the spa?" he asked. "There's a spa." Plumbing supplies, a captive alien, and a spa. "Adam, that makes no sense." "Well, they do sell plumbing supplies, right? The spa's where they show everything off. Luxury sinks, that kind of thing. And there's the secret reason, too. Greg told me he built the Mahler spa, so there would be an excuse for important people to stay in Roswell when they came to talk to the alien." He shrugged. "I don't know. It's nice, though." "You said people came to talk to Skizzics. You said Greg got the alien to teach them how to do things, right? Like the reboots and the bubbles and things like that?" Adam shrugged. "How did they talk to him? I mean, it's an alien. They don't show up speaking English, right?" "I don't know, Dana. I only saw it once and it didn't talk. It just hissed. I don't think it even had a tongue." Adam got a faraway look on his face. "Huh. It's probably not important," said Dana. "I just like to know." "There you go," said Adam, always thinking. Happy birthday, Queen of Swords.